Ever wake up one morning, look in the mirror, and think, dang, I've got more past than future and less money than either? Yeah, that was me. No pension, no savings, no safety net. And my son? He's busy chasing crypto coins and enlightenment in Bali. Spoiler alert, he doesn't send postcards. This is the story of how I hit rock bottom in old age and figured out how to stand back up. It's not perfect, it's not pretty, but it's mine. And maybe it can be yours too. Look, I didn't mean to get old and broke. Back in the day, I worked hard. Construction, landscaping, truck driving, even sold encyclopedias door to door before the internet murdered that gig. I wasn't lazy, I just didn't plan. I always thought there'd be more time, more money, more years with good knees and cheap gas. But life crept up like a quiet ninja in orthopedic shoes. One layoff here, a divorce there, a few bad financial decisions. I'm looking at you, timeshare in Branson, and poof, I'm 70 with nothing but an old recliner and a Social Security check that barely covers oatmeal and blood pressure pills. And let's not even talk about my son. I raised him right, or thought I did. But somewhere along the way, the phone calls stopped. The visits dried up. I became a ghost with a Facebook account. One winter morning, I opened my fridge to find half a jar of pickles, expired mustard, and a single slice of bologna. That was it. I laughed so hard I cried, then I cried for real. But after the pity party, I stood up, wiped my face, and said, "All right, old man, time to cowboy up." I knew two things. No one was coming to save me. I still had a few tricks up my sleeve. That day, I made a new plan. Not a retirement plan, a survival plan. Number one, fixing what others won't. I've always been handy, so I started offering odd jobs around the neighborhood, fixing leaky faucets, unclogging drains, assembling IKEA furniture, which is basically adult Legos for masochists. Word got around. Soon, I had a waiting list and a fridge full of food that wasn't condiments. Number two, turning my garage into gold. I had tools, gadgets, and a mountain of maybe I'll use this someday stuff. I cleaned house and started selling it online. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, even eBay. One man's rust is another man's treasure, apparently. Number three, mentoring young men who had no fathers. Out of nowhere, a local church asked if I'd talk to a group of teenage boys without dads in their lives. At first I thought, what do I know? Turns out I knew a lot. Now I speak once a week, helping boys become men. They pay me with smiles and coffee, and honestly, that feeds me more than cash ever could. Number four, car sitting and house watching. Who knew people would pay an old guy to water their plants and rev their engines while they're on vacation? Apparently, quite a few folks. I even dog-sit a schnauzer named Mr. Pickles. He snores louder than I do, but he pays in cuddles and bacon treats. Now, let's talk about my kid. There was a time when he called every week, shared everything, asked for advice. Now, crickets. He's busy or tired or just not calling. It hurt, I won't lie. But one day, I realized something. He's living his life, and I have to live mine. I stopped waiting by the phone and started living again. Do I miss him? Yes, but I no longer base my worth on someone else's attention. I live modestly, but not miserably. Groceries. I joined a food co-op. I trade handyman work for farm eggs and homegrown squash. Rent. I moved into a small duplex with another old guy named Stan. We split bills and argue over baseball. It works. Entertainment. I go to the senior center on Tuesdays, free movies, and $2 meatloaf. The company? Priceless. Transport. I walk. Everywhere. Keeps me moving. Plus, my knees need to exercise more than my pickup ever did. I even splurge once in a while. A slice of pie, a haircut by a real barber, a second-hand book with the smell of someone else's memories. People always ask, what's your secret? Here's the truth. Routine is everything, even when you're broke, especially when you're broke. I wake up, make my bed, and say one thing I'm grateful for. I drink my coffee slowly, black, hot, and humbling. I write in a notebook. 3 things I did right. 1 thing I'll do better. I do something productive. Fix something. Build something. Help someone. These aren't little things. These are the glue holding me together. I've learned that being broke isn't the worst thing. Being bitter is. I've learned that asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you honest. I've learned that loneliness shrinks when you reach out, even if it's awkward or messy. And I've learned that old age isn't the end of anything. It's just the start of a new kind of freedom. You get to drop the pretense, be real, be raw, be useful in your own quiet way. So here I am, no pension, no savings, no family to lean on. But I've got purpose, I've got friends, I've got a small garden, a garage full of tools, and a calendar that's somehow always full. And you know what? That's enough. If you're like me, starting over at 65 or 75 or even 85, remember this: you're not done. You're just different now. And sometimes different is exactly what the world needs. So pull up those socks, heat up that leftover chili, and face tomorrow like the tough, scrappy, silver-haired legend you are. Because if this old man can do it, you can too. If you enjoyed this journey into timeless wisdom, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little reminder that the good life is often the simple one. If you'd like to support us further, you can do so by donating in the link in the description below. Until next time, keep your tea warm and your heart wiser.